your boys, the Properly Brothers. John Kirby here.
Properly Brothers?
Well, I spent a lot of time at the hospital with my dad watching
HGTV?
fourth most popular, most watched network on the dial. That's an actual statistic from the New Yorker. It's on in every waiting room, every
And it's just dudes like redoing kitchens and shit?
Yeah. We can't be the Properly Brothers. I'm trying it out, like Wiz Carfania. Some people call you Wiz to me, and I'm like, that's cute.
Why am I Wiz?
Wiz Carfania, like Wiz Khalifa. You both have complicated last names.
Khalifa's not Italian.
How do you know?
Do you know where Wiz Khalifa's from?
Pittsburgh.
Okay, I'm just
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black.
How deep in the catalog are you?
Well, and Pittsburgh is probably the most Ohio city in Pennsylvania.
I think it has a little bit more to do with the Ohio vibe than it does like Philly, you know, that kind of shit, for sure.
We are here. There's many pacifiers at Dante's house, and the one I've been handed today is Historic Ohio Bricks.
Self-published, desktop published.
You know what I opened it to? This bodes well for us. Pyro Savage.
So what Kirby is flipping through is a life's labor of a man. I think he lives in Akron. He's like 200 years old, and he collects bricks made at Ohio furnaces over the past 250 years.
Maximum grip.
John's lost in this.
Pyro Savage. There's also a Pyro Steel one, and opposite, Queen City.
Queen City, Cincinnati. But this book is about bricks.
Find someone who loves you as much as Don DeZuro loves bricks, is my advice.
So this hobby, collecting bricks, clearly is heavy. To have to move a brick collection, if an extensive one. So if
to be 90 and have to move one brick is probably a bummer.
I've fallen.
The brick hobby's incredible. So you can go out and still find a vintage collectible brick. You know, you're in some podunk town and they have a cobblestone street and, you know, dig one up or whatever.
Tearing a building down,
all this kind of stuff. So the conventions for these, and there are conventions, John. I know that you were going to ask me next, when's the next brick convention?
Because I just got a new dope wheelbarrow.
And here's how the conventions work. And shout out to my boy Kanan Faulkner in Columbus for hipping me to this entire micro scene. They say, we're going to meet in Middletown, Ohio on Saturday at 10 a.m. So the 24 people that give a shit about this drive from whatever, a tri-state area. They meet in some parking lot. They back their cars up kind of into a circle with their trunks all facing.
Yeah.
They open the trunk. They put out their bricks.
Yeah.
And then literally somebody blows a whistle and then you just go and grab whatever bricks you want, put them in your car and bounce. The whole thing's over in like 10 minutes.
No way.
Yes. It's like this hyper communistic collecting thing. There's no money exchanged. You just like, oh, you found some dope shit from Yellow Springs. Oh, like I got this Cincy brick.
Yeah.
Just take it.
Yeah.
There's no value assigned to any of these things.
That is quite a brick squad you just described.
I'd love to see a really well-made documentary about the scene, but it begs the question, bricks, could you submit them to get graded and slabbed up? A slabbed brick.
Ensconced in plexiglass.
And then how much more space that would take up.
There's one where every brick has a fully recessed tiger on it. So it's just got like a fucking cool little tiger hanging out on it.
Also, that book is like, what, 400 pages? It's fucking extensive.
Yeah, I used to work at Kinko's, and you would have to pay extra for a spiral bind this big.
Yeah,
because it's so tedious to get it on there.
Let's talk about some music.
Fitting you should be looking at a book about bricks, heavy shit, because today we're going to take an adventure into a very small niche of the rock world, and that's rock recordings that utilize direct fuzz.
And we've been talking about doing this show since the beginning, since 2017. It keeps coming up.
It's been percolating. So direct fuzz, for those of you that are not as otaku as us, is there's a fuzz pedal for guitar utilized for 60 years, usually through an amplifier. But often you could go from the guitar into the fuzz pedal, right into the board, right into the recording thing. So you bypass the amp altogether, and a very particular kind of sound happens. And that's the sound we're going to be exploring today.
You and I are both home recording hobbyists. We've both put out records worth thousands of dollars. The fuzz sound is a direct result of overdriving a mixing console.
And often what's cited as the first example on record of a fuzz tone is a Marty Robbins record called Don't Worry, or I think it was the bass actually that was overdriven and it just was shredded sounding. Any case, the Fuzz guitar and just Fuzz in general is like, for collectors of like 45s and garage and psych, they want that shit. They want crunched out guitars. They want blaster guitars. And Fuzz will usually give you that blasted shit.
And again, probably the first time it happened, it was a mistake. They stuck with it. And then people from country to rock to everywhere else appreciated this sound and the effect it gave.
It became another tool in the toolbox to achieve sound. So to give you a very firm introduction to the sound of this guitar, the direct Fuzz guitar, we're going to listen to Smith Vincent on City from Tupelo, Mississippi, a song called Hallucination. And this has the clearest right there. You can see it, hear it, feel it, and understand what this tone is we're going to be describing for the next hour or so.
No, no, he cried as they carried him away. He yelled at the top of his voice, but there was nothing to say. His face was hard and wrinkled, his eyes sunk back in his head. He knew that within the hour that he would be dead. The jury had found him guilty of a wrong he had not done. And never, never again would he see the rising of the sun. They buried him at midnight, and now he is no more. He has gone on away from here, beyond that golden door.
How about that one finger solo?
Just so enamored with the Fuzz. He was like, let me make this abundantly clear.
Yeah.
This guitar is maxed.
That's a neat little record, though. And again, from kind of an unlikely location. In fact, a few of the things we're going to be playing today are from like, oh, really? We're going to listen to something from Alabama. That was from Mississippi, from Tupelo. This guy, Smith Vincent's kind of interesting, too. He did this single that's probably from 69 or 70, and then little gap, and then he's got these kind of neat countrypolitan, almost neon light country records on Playboy from the mid 70s, but it's some obscure shit though.
It was peaking and like overloading to the point where I was like, I can't tell if he's bending it or just the board short circuiting
Or the tape going like, what am I,
yeah,
where do you hit me with?
I mean, it's so cool to think about the machine giving up or just being unable to convey the Fuzz message.
It will be all red. Fine.
There's nothing wrong.
The show's going to be pretty heshered out, I would say. It's got like long hair, zits, torn jeans.
Drug rug.
Dude.
What did they call metal dudes in your high school? When I grew up, they called them grits.
Grit.
Like the dudes that would be out by the dumpster smoking reefer with the Savatage t-shirt on. That time.
Hesher is all I recall.
Hesher.
Yeah.
Another term that was bounced around was loady. Like
It was
get
metal.
loaded.
It was metalhead or Hesher. And a metalhead could be sober. You know, a metalhead could just be like a guy who knew every Ugly Kid Joe riff, but a hesher was somebody who was like
Doping?
less musical. Yeah,
Doping.
a doper.
Yeah, a loadie. And like I said, we called him Grits. So we're going to be hearing a lot from the Grit
Squad.
The Brick Squad, Grit Squad. We got many squads.
I'm looking at a brick here that just says Shit Ringer 1872. So I feel like we're going to be hearing from some shit ringers.
Yeah, 1872 shit ringers. So we're going to go down a hole here where we listen to some pretty savage, heavy stuff. The first thing we're going to listen to is a group called Twigs, a song called Moon Maiden. I believe they're from Washington State. I have this on SS International, but I know this comes out locally as well. And then we'll back that up with a group called Greylock Mansion from Tucson. So
got to be some bricks in that mansion.
No doubt. There's a particular kind of like Tolkien Lord of the Rings thing that gets married, you know, to the hard rock shit of the early 70s.
Moon maiden of those who see, sailing across your lunar sea. Reflections on your cosmic face, carrying reach from outer space. Glowing light from distant stars, a crimson shade you bring from Mars. A girl possessed with all these things will pave my way to Saturn's rings. She lives, baby, phased out by the sky. Moon made like celestial rain falls on Pluto's shimmering plain. Sensitive midst with thoughts so high, soft creation of black velvet skies. Even with a girl of an alien race, never know the time and place. I'm Saturn's ring caressing stars, space some time away on Mars. All this and she's got such a trippy little mind. On your cosmic face, carrying wings from outer space, glowing light from distant stars, a crimson shade you bring from Mars. Just possessed with all these things, will pave my way to Saturn's ring. This girl, she lives phased out just a little bit by the sky. Moon maiden to Earth you came, a Neptune's fiery comet train, phased out by your universe. Please stop on Earth and get me first. Uranus blues, the moon I choose. To leave this place, there's nothing to lose. What first I thought was just a dream, but now she's taking me off of this planet. Oh, it's so good, and I just can't stand it. But I'm sure gonna try. As long as we're getting around here, girl.
That's some heavy graveyard business right there.
Yeah, I was just thinking about if you saw this live, your head would peak.
Your head would be in the red?
Fuzz is best conveyed on record. There's no direct fuzz live. It's a recording technique. And so to hear really pure distilled fuzz, it's always going to be best experienced on record because, you know, your ears would start to distort, I think, if you saw something.
Yeah, it would do some physical thing to you.
The damage being inflicted upon the input on your Mackie mixing console would be mimicked inside of your headspace.
So that was Greylock Mansion from Tucson, and the song is called Catafalque, Catafalque, which I just have to look up to see what it is. A decorated wooden framework supporting the coffin of a distinguished person.
Someone had a dictionary of the underworld.
Somebody had Eric Partridge's Dictionary of the Underworld for real. I like the guys a lot when it comes to 70s white pimple rock. Just dudes that were all in on Sabbath. They're like, Led Zeppelin's cool, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Give me a fake Sabbath, I'm good to go. You know, do me upbeat, whatever. Just if they have that horror movie vibe, I'm like, I'm good. The hammer movie vibes.
I typically, in almost every instance, I really dislike the Farfisa, except for in these situations where it's almost like Devil Church Farfisa.
Yes. And it's usually not the lead instrument. It's just adding like freaky texture in the back while some dude like wails on his SG.
Yeah, it's almost like a paraphylactic for like the bass and the guitar. It's just sort of like
the binder.
Yeah.
The binding solution between it. So we're going to go to Alabama now, to Gulf Shores, Alabama, along the Gulf Coast for a guy named George Toller. This is direct fuzz directly into your cerebellum.
Yeah.
Through your brain. It's just right up in there. But also a great song and super sad. This is downer psych. Motherfuckers use that term all the time. Downer psych. This is downer psych. What? It's called Lonely Birthdays.
Now this is downer psych.
Now that's what I call downer psych.
Goodbye.
This morning I had a smile upon my face. Then I noticed that my smile was out of place. See, it's my birthday and I was lonely asking me. Lonely, lonely birthday makes me cry. All my friends, all the names that I must defend, running and shouting and laughing with glee. They're at a party and the party was for me. A lonely, lonely birthday, lonely, lonely birthday. A lonely, lonely birthday makes me cry. As I lay me down, I was holding back a tear. Another lonely birthday's gonna one more year, and when I'm rid of this burden over me, no more lonely birthdays, no more lonely birthdays, no more lonely birthdays to make me cry, no more lonely birthdays, no more lonely birthdays, no more lonely birthdays to make me cry.
True downer psych.
Wow, that's massive.
So I did a little cursory research. So the first fuzz pedal was invented by a guy named Glenn Snoddy. I'm sure lots of engineers created their own little doodads or whatever, but like one that you could buy and with your Christmas guitar or whatever in like 60, 61. And apparently he sold the schematics in like 62 to Gibson or something like that. So that's how long we've been dealing with the
Commercial fuzz.
for 60 years. We have 60 years of commercial fuzz to wrestle with. White garage bands of the jangly type, in the wake of the Beatles and the Kinks, obviously they're like, we want to stand out and have this cool fuzz sound. Even though the Beatles and the Stones didn't really use fuzz, if you will.
I wouldn't say they leaned on it.
Yeah, they didn't kind of pioneer its popularity or anything.
Whatever.
So we're going to listen to a brace here of more traditional, quote unquote, garage. The era before the hair got super long and the zits were like mega whitehead.
Pizza.
The dirt stache, I don't think was really a thing in garage.
No.
It didn't happen until maybe 68 or 69.
All started with the drummer.
You think that the stache is the drummer's purview?
I feel like it's part of the package.
When I think of the iconic Hesher stache, I think of Cliff Burton from Metallica. He's really got, it's like dark and feathered, and his dirt stache is probably fully grown in. It doesn't actually go to mustache level. There's got to be a new term for it. You could have a proud dirt stache. You could be prideful of it. So dirt stache just makes it sound like you suck.
Coincidentally, peach fuzz, we're just on the topic of fuzz, so
Yeah.
thinking
peach
about
fuzz.
the nomenclature relations between direct fuzz and busted mustaches
Most busted mustaches / dirt stashes
or bustaches, if you will.
Chilling.
usually come from a dude that doesn't understand that you have to shave it in order for it to grow in fully. And so it's still the baby hairs.
And he's unwilling to lose the footing that he has
Yes,
in the facial
I've come
hair
this
game.
far.
Yeah.
I've come this far. There's no turning back now.
No disassemble.
Our bright futures notwithstanding, we'll listen to a couple examples of like a more trad garage
Okay.
with fuzz. We'll start with Aftermath by the Butter Rebellion from Los Angeles. I mean, Butter Rebellion would suggest kind of wimpy dudes, and to a certain extent they are, but they have direct fuzz.
People standing all around, their heads turning to the ground, waiting for their young loves to come home. Yes, I see them everywhere, pass me by without a care, but they don't seem to realize I'm there. I've been gone for a while, across the mighty sea. Peaceful coexistence is a thing that I long for. But I'm trapped inside my room and madness lies behind every door. I try for days escaping that which keeps me bound right where I'm at. But the facts of life remain just like before. Baby and me, we don't want to live society's life. When daylight comes, we must conform, but not at night. People try to talk to me, they try so hard to make me see, but to me, their facts of life just can't be right. Oh no! They try so hard to make me see, but to me their facts of life just can't be right. Oh no!
Their only concern was that the fuzz was captured.
I think that was a demonstration disc for the fuzz pedal, wasn't it?
For the most part, and how not to record a rhythm section, the drastic volume differences between the band's recording and then the overdub is remarkable.
The fuzz guy was the only one there for mixing.
Or he paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, that was the Extremes Facts of Life from St. Louis on the Star Trek label.
Yeah, that was hardcore.
So those are your garage cats going for direct fuzz delf.
Take a sniff.
You were commenting earlier about the mixing console being, you know, kind of important to the delivery of fuzz. The 4-track at home, once kind of home recording became a thing, then dudes could tweak to the moon and back and no one could tell them not to.
Yeah, like that last song pissed off a lot of parents. Like they had to move practice houses.
Well,
like,
even I'm sure
every
even
month.
the engineer at Star Trek Records is like, these kids with this shit.
KC.
So the home studio, all bets are off.
Yeah.
There are no rules. You can literally do whatever the
Fuzz
hell
the
you
bass,
want.
fuzz the guitar.
Fuzz your face. Fuzz everything you want. So the example that I'm going to present today of true home fuzz is a record that's been in my life for 25 years or so that is fucking amazing from Kansas City, the Black and White Holy Smoke Show, known in shorthand as just Super Turkey.
When I worked at Wax Poetics and they had been like haranguing you for a rediscovery or something, you sent in like, they're like, it's 200 words, like usually like 450 words or something, but it was about Super Turkey. So this was my first introduction to Dante Carfagna, the pontificator.
The journalist.
Yeah.
Again, from Kansas City, kind of mysterious. One guy against the whole fucking world. Fuzz stacked 1,000 feet high. Tried to source this. It's not happening. It's really mysterious.
There's a bumper sticker, like a Dayglow bumper sticker.
We're going to listen to the 45, which is from 76 or 77. And then a few years later, it came out on 12-inch, where it's the same vocals, but all of this fuzz guitar has been replaced with like stock jungle sounds. You know, and the lyrical content of this shit is like, what the fuck? It's so burnt.
He was like born again and he had to put out like an anti-fuzz version of...
Maybe it was his born again thing, but I still don't know what any of this is about. I've been trying to figure it out, like I said, since like 1994, and it's just like not going to happen. So I believe we're going to play Tasty Is As Tasty Do, not Super Turkey, which is the name of the flip. The band is called Black and White Holy Smoke Show, but this is Tasty Is As Tasty Do, and your guess is as good as mine.
dead coconut along. Sweet Mary, do me a benefit and let me in. Get down like a big bird. I dig your deadly sins. Mary Hartman is a friend of mine. Confesses with me all the time. Oh, sweet Mary, tell me now what's happened to you. You don't look as good as you used to be. Pigtail cola for the ride. Primo cola for the time. Pigtail cola for the two. Coconut along.
So I said I didn't know what it was about. Upon closer listen, it's about Mary Hartman and cocaine.
That was in Wax Poetics.
That article that I wrote was sandwiched between probably Quincy Jones, Smackwater Jack, and like a Ray Barretto Hard Hands.
Something that's so cool about the Fuzz is, it really strips so much information from the tone that when it came in, I was like, is that a bass? Is that a keyboard? Is that a guitar?
Makes it cloudy for sure.
It does something like democratic to the tone. I've noticed like on a lot of these records, like the Fuzz, it could be the same Fuzz Bandit, like on each of these records, because all you're hearing is
the box.
Yeah.
It is the fuzz box. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what brand of guitar you have feeding through it. Once it hits that box, it's going to come out the other end pretty much sounding the same. Obviously, virtuosity in the playing will change a little bit, but the actual sound of it is always going to be the exact same.
It's just going to be all the sound.
Is laid most bare and kind of great and raw on these kind of home recordings where it's just like, Jesus, dude.
There's nothing wrong.
It could have been running on batteries. Like everything is just torched about it. So the same way that it can be wasted at home, big studios also employed every bell and whistle, and the Fuzz was part of the arsenal. So this next thing we're going to listen to is by studio guitarist Louis Shelton. This came out on Warner Brothers in the late 60s, a song called Evolution. His claim to fame, besides playing on scores of Warner Brothers, Reprise, W7 stuff, is that he produced and played the guitar lick on Summer Breeze by Seals and Croft.
Which again is sick, but then Ernie Isley quickly kicked that shit out of his hands.
Can I have that? I think there's a main ingredient, Summer Breeze, too.
Oh, you're right.
Even though we've been playing like heavy, hard crunch this whole time, we're going to divert into a Seals and Croft conversation because I may have shared this with you, probably not to our dozen listeners, but my uncle, who's an electrician in Central Ohio, so works with just like some scumbags, essentially like just work site parasites.
Yeah.
Work parasites.
No background check.
So I remember after work one day, we were hanging out, like having beer, smoking weed and shit. And there was this just fried fucking dude down there, long hair, like looked like he got forgotten by Hawkwind on their last tour. Just Hawkwind detritus. Anyway, he was talking shit and he was like the greatest performance I ever saw, ever in the history of, he probably saw a lot of great shows in the 60s and 70s, an older guy. The greatest show he'd ever seen was Seals and Croft in like 82.
Bunezzone.
Hey, man.
I had to ask him, was it also the best acid you took?
Double rainbow.
Yeah.
It was really remarkable to see some fried grit.
Yeah.
Being like Seals and Croft, they're unimpeachable.
I mean, I talk to guys who've seen a lot of shows and they say Soul Asylum, top 5 shows they'd ever seen.
Steak taco.
Before it all broke for them. And I'm like, I have to take your
Before
word
it
for
all broke for all of us. So Evolution by Louis Shelton. So similarly to Super Turkey, here he is, especially in this middle passage of the song, just stacking fuzz. Louis Shelton being a producer, a little bit of an Axelrod vibe in there too.
When that fuzz started coming in, I was like, is that trumpet? Is that brass? Like, is that, I actually started to hear it as being some new passage, like some B section or something, but it was just this layer of fuzz. I was like, wow, how cool.
Yeah, you seem to get disoriented when the fuzz hits real. You have to find your feet when the fuzz really is hitting. You're like, what instrument is that?
I'm not going to say it's disorienting, but it's really interesting to see how people use this tool.
It's also interesting to think that this sound captivated so many people. Like a guitar changed to have that sound rather than say like a chimey sound or all manner of other different timbres and colors. So we want something that sounds kind of ragged and fuzzy, and that became de rigueur, like the popular shit.
Well, that last song being this like kind of cool Cali Pacific Coast Highway jazz thing, what about the composition made him say like, I want to layer some fuzz, some direct board fuzz on this?
Yeah, it's a fascinating color no matter how you use it. And Louis Shelton being a major label example, obviously as a studio device, it permeates a lot of music, including soul music. So I'm going to play two examples of direct fuzz on soul records, major label soul records. The first is Mandrill, Two Sisters of Mystery, from their first album, Just Outside of Town. Upon closer listening, Kirby and I figured out that this is not in fact fuzz guitar, this is fuzz bass, which is a very interesting turn.
Haters will say it's Photoshop.
Enhance.
True hip-hop heads will recognize this as a very prominent sample amongst a politically charged late 80s, early 90s rap group.
Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles.
I can feel it in my bones. Love is just around the corner. You don't have to be alone. Only if you really want it. Then I'm gonna say that one more time. See, I can feel it in my bones. Love is just around the corner. And you don't have to be alone. No, 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 no. Only if you really want it. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. I can feel it in my bones. Love is just around the corner. Yes, it is, yeah. You won't have to be alone. Only if you really want it. I can feel the way I can feel in my bones. Yeah. Love is just around the corner. You don't have to be alone. No, 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 no. Only if you really want it. Yeah. Wake up one morning, find a brand new day. Good love vibrations, everything's going your way. One day you'll see a sky blue, yeah, yeah. I know the sun gonna shine on you, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, love around the corner. Love around the corner, yeah.
Recalculating.
So I'm going to try and put this as succinctly as possible because I've been having this one thought about direct fuzz and the democratization of direct fuzz. When we were kind of pulling through your records, deciding what we were going to play for this show, I was like, have you thought about Trivialities by the Nombres? And you're like, there's fuzz on that? And you drop the needle on it and it comes in, there's this searing lead that's just almost like Indian scale lead guitar. And I saw a look on your face and you can tell me what you're thinking. If I've got it wrong, then I've got it wrong. But I think you were almost like, is that a guitar? Is that a bass? Is that a keyboard? It's fuzz, but I can't tell what it is. And I think that's the really interesting aspect of fuzz that makes it so identifiable and so unique, is that once you fuzz an element of a song, it strips so much of the tonal information away that like all that remains is fuzz. So it's like all roads lead to fuzz.
So what you're saying is you really want to hear Michael Winslow through direct fuzz?
But Michael Winslow, when he would do his Jimi Hendrix impersonation, it sounded like a guitar. It sounded like Hendrix.
LSD or what have you, you know.
You overdrive anything, and it's sort of like a white noise app on my phone and a white noise patch on a Moog modular machine are going to sound the same because they're just all the tones being played at one time. Like fuzz is fuzz.
Your phone's not going to have the analog warmth
well
of the Moog white noise filter.
Darn.
I mean, John.
I'm going to get kicked out of the Euro Rack cookout.
Who hasn't been thrown out of the Euro Rack cookout by now?
You know, I'm sick of those guys. They're such bullies.
The lowest pass filters.
That's a real low pass filter move.
So that was Earth, Wind, and Fire. I Can Feel It in My Bones from the second album, Need of Love, on Warner Brothers.
I love some Earth, Wind, and Fires. Meanwhile, in the Brick Book...
Yeah, where are you at in the Brick Book?
You know, shout out to Mandrill from Brooklyn by way of Panama. But there is a brick from Brooklyn, Ohio that is just BRKLYN, which seems so much like a Brooklyn-based clothing company.
No, I'm not.
Remember, we wanted to open this conversation path. It's valid verse, like it's not into vowels. It's like all these new companies,
verse.
Like a app to buy pet food that's called like.
Yeah, so Brooklyn, from Brooklyn, Ohio. Above it is one by Britile, which he doesn't have, out of Uricksville, Ohio.
Never heard.
And
of
I'm
it.
just thinking about this dude's brick want list.
It would be sick if that guide was also a price guide.
Oh my god.
So we figured out what the true rares were.
I don't even know what the entry level, like what's a rare brick start at?
There's no money. As I said, like the convention is utterly utopian. You're just like, come take your, can you imagine if a record show worked that way? You set up your table and you just could go around and grab whatever the fuck you wanted. There would be bloodshed within 1 minute.
God.
Literally, FMU would be like The Purge. You know, it would be battle royale style shit. Like dudes would be armored up. Like, okay, I have 10 minutes in this. All the records are going to be good, but I just know that
I have to grab what I can and get out with my life.
You know who kills it at the Battle Royale WFMUs?
That guy who looks like a super swole Gordon Ramsay. I think he emerges the winner.
Two black eyes.
Or, oh boy, the Digger Smurf.
Oh, right.
He's Diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might emerge atop the Battle Royale with a copy of like Bill Mason getting off or some shit.
Maybe not.
A couple dudes at FMU I'm already putting my money on.
Battle Royale at FMU would be incredible. Like no holds barred, foreign objects allowed. I mean, there's a couple of dudes at times that I'd be like, you know what? If I had a chair, I'd hit this motherfucker with like a folding chair.
Yeah.
Fake Northern Soul records.
I mean, ultimately, I'd probably rather hang out with the brick dudes than the record guys.
Than the FMU dudes.
In a weird way, yeah.
This is how DITC or DITB this guy is. He put this whole book together alphabetically by manufacturer name, and then there's like 30 whole pages of late entries.
The addendum.
So in the time it took him to put this book together, he was still just like gripping.
Speaking again of heavy ass bricks, we played, you know, an hour worth of direct fuzz, which hopefully hasn't completely rearranged your neural mainframe, because it does kind of just go right into the part of your brain. And the last thing we're going to play is the only thing that isn't from America, and it doesn't even have direct fuzz. So you can take RP Buddy away if you want, but we're going to break a rule here because I've been listening to a lot of music over the years, and this probably has the most crushed guitar sound of all time. It's a Nigerian band, I believe. They're called Warhead Constriction. Whew. It's from 73, a song called Graceful Bird. It's on a 45. I think it's their only record. Even from 73, I don't think African dudes had heard the Stooges or Blue Cheer. Maybe they'd heard Blue Cheer, but it's just like, show me a guitar sound that's heavier than this. If you took all of the bricks out of that book and stacked them in real life, it might be getting close to approaching the weight.
Tonnage of this.
Just the guitar tonnage of Warhead Constriction. Truly incredible. And it starts off kind of mellow. You don't know, you're like, this is nice. And then all of a sudden, like, acid rain, just fuzz rains down on you.
Full military coup.
So a show both about guitars and bricks, not what we had anticipated. This has been Dogpatch. I'm Dante Carfagna.
I'm Jonathan Kirby.
Keep it fuzzy.
Na 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 cry, coming to do this thing. We've been grown from grace to grass, now it's a turn to fade. Time